Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. So let's, me. Let me take a minute to have the chat on my phone. Should be this one. Yes. Perfect. Okay. And everything is ready. Welcome, guys. I hope everything was right. I hope that everyone had a good trading session. It depends on when you are, yesterday or this morning. It depends. I just want to start this live just because I want to show you what happened to here in New Zealand. Yesterday we were there, and this is what happened during the night. So actually this one was a perfect pattern. An overall 1 to 15, but it would have taken our 1 to 7. So basically I want to show that because the pattern worked. Not only because the pattern worked, but also because I promised to be transparent with you, and I said I told you that I would have updated you with the move, and this is actually the beauty that happened. So I'm quite happy with that, and yeah, definitely I need to find the time and the energy to do a proper backtesting for this, also to understand the data about this pattern, so the risk reward, the average drawdown, how to manage it properly, and something like that. So I need to run a backtest and yes, and or maybe before the backtest, I need to understand the data that is important behind the system to run the backtest. Okay, so this is actually something that gets me excited because this is gold, and especially this pattern inside the system that we trade is really gold. It's really gold. So I need to find the time. Really need to find the time. So let's see what's happening on the indices. So yeah, UK 100, yeah, nothing to do. US 30, nothing to do. We need to wait at least for a break here. Spain, nothing to do. Nothing to do on DAX, nothing to do on FRA 40, it's the French index, nothing to do on Nasdaq, nothing to do on Japan, and yeah, we obviously we need a little bit of strength here, more strength. Okay, but actually is in a good situation. If it opens gapping up, maybe we could see something setting up in the stocks environment too, because actually we have bullishness. It seems that the accumulation it's going to finish, so maybe today we are able to see something positive, and it would be very nice since today is the last day of the week. So now going very fast to see if we have something. I will not comment everything. If it's not good, I just don't say nothing and move on. And this actually this actually it's useful for you too, because it shows you, okay, how fast it could be an analysis. So everyone thinks that analyses are slow and you have to check thousands of things and things so on. But actually, the analysis, when you know what you are looking for, it's very, very, very fast. Okay. Yeah. This is nice. This is not. This is actually nice. Okay. I mean, this is not bad, but the overall pattern is it's not the best. It's a little bit choppy, so let's do something like that. Yeah, maybe we should wait for something like that here. This is a very big accumulation, so oops. If we want to be sure about this one, or if we want to feel safe, we should wait for price to break, you know, at least at least this accumulation here. I want to wait for this accumulation to be broken. It's not bad, I mean. No, I mean it's we break that one. No, I mean it's a good one. Okay, if we break this one, it's better, but it's a good one. What happened here? Yeah, this is actually very. I don't like it. This is yellow because it's not ready yet, and yeah, so we have a couple of things here, but it's not perfect. I mean, you know, we have this one, but we need to wait. Yeah, for the push, this is actually a good push and pause, and we're okay. This one, another push and pause, and this one was pretty clear. Okay, so let's see what's happened to QQQ. Okay, we actually got down, but we are there. So it seems that we have this strength, but this will not be a very strong session because I needed to see a gap up and this, you know, going higher. Since we are inside the range, we are still inside the range. I think this is going to be a slow session, exactly like yesterday. Maybe something more, but exactly like yesterday. So let's see the scanner. Yeah, 24 assets. So not a good thing. Okay, this is actually very good, but it's very liquid, so nothing. Very liquid. I think that, oops, actually we have something here. Come on. Yeah, this is not a liquid, but we are not in a good spot. Yeah, this is somehow, it's a good one, but it's very liquid, so nothing. And this, I think it's in liquid. Yeah, very liquid. Okay, so basically we do not have a lot of things there, and we also don't have a lot of things that are setting up. Look at this one, the best gap, it's a sort of 4%. Okay, so as you can see, we don't have a lot of things setting up, and the things that are setting up, or actually that are showing strength at the market open, are in liquid. So there's nothing that we can do. Oh, actually, I forgot, guys. I forgot. This is important. Okay, I give you a couple of minutes to read the disclaimer. This is, always the same thing. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a single room. I can manage other people's money, so everything is on purpose only. Always the same thing. We saw and listen to this disclaimer over and over again, but actually this is important to protect myself, um, because of what I'm doing. Okay, so trading live, it means really showing profits and and basically everything. So yeah, it's important. By the way, sorry if the mic was not the best, but I forgot to position it in front of my mouth, because actually today has been a little bit hectic. I had golf clinic in it was a very hard golf clinic on the short game, 4 hour of short clinic, and so I'm just came back home and I am a little bit tired, and so I forget about the disclaimer. I forget about about positioning my mic in front of my mouth. So maybe the audio was not the best for the first 20 minutes, because my microphone was really far apart, and maybe the audio was not perfect. So forgive me, guys, but yeah, today is like that. Today it's been a very hard day. I mean, I loved every single moment of it. I felt like I was a pro, uh, because for the first time I had the coach follow my movements closely, and for 4 hours. So yeah, it was very 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 good. Um, and so yeah, today I'm a little bit tired, so maybe I will talk a little bit less, and forgive me for that. But sometimes it happens. We don't have a lot of golf clinic, but when we have, I really love to be present, because you actually learn a lot. I just discovered and found out that I was practicing. Um, I I was practicing the approach in a good way, but actually with the wrong technique. And so today I corrected the technique, and it felt like uh, very different. The feeling, the sensation when you hit the ball, and it was very 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 nice, very nice. So okay, I wanted just to give you some minutes to read everything, and back to the game. It's a big drop. This is actually not a bad one. This is actually a good one. Yeah, the problem is the overall issue here is the delivery that is not perfect. There is no delivery here. It's not bad, but it's a yellow and not an hot one. Yeah, everything is very slow. Look, everything is very slow. So let's do something like that. Since we have to wait, first of all, let's see if we have something new. No, we have less. We have less. Okay, so let's do something like that. Okay, and we need to start eliminating things that basically are below the 20 here. The 20 is the green averages. This is below, but yeah, no, I mean, so since we have a little bit of time, it makes sense for me to get rid of everything what, you know, doesn't respect my rules. Pardon, guys. We can see also from the volume that actually the session is not, you know, very interesting. So sometimes this cleaning work, you know, it's something that has to be done just to clear a little bit the chart. So I think that most of the others should be in a good place because we already did once this work live, and so I think that the majority are above the 20. Yes, but especially the green ones. Actually, volume is increasing, so I like when I see that volume is increasing because it means that, you know, money is flowing into the market, and this is actually what we need to look for. Oops. Okay. Okay, perfect. So actually we have something that it's very promising, you know, like this one or this one. These are, you know, beauty, but yeah, can be traded. Okay, so back. So we actually, okay. So today is very slow. Okay, guys, so there is actually nothing to do. So maybe this one, let's see how it sets up. Could be a good one, but we don't know. We need to wait. Yeah, this one was a good trade. This one was a very good trade. This one here was a little bit chopping, but then this one was actually, you know, a clear one. So we could have traded this one. And look at that. You know, but it was a 1:30 p.m. So actually I was still at the golf clinic today, but usually I eat and I'm not on the charts in that specifically, you know, time. So yeah, we would have missed this one with this one too, but actually that was a very good trade. Okay. I'm actually waiting the reply from the two groups I asked yesterday for the deal, you know, to put my link about the live, okay, two trading group, and I'm actually waiting for the reply, and if we can, let's say, make the deal, even if it's not a deal, because you know it's just because I think that this could be helpful or to all the traders that are inside the two groups. If we can make the deal, maybe we could have more people, and I could make the live more interactive. So, for example, asking you about, you know, prices, what would you do in that situation, if you would buy or sell in that situation, what is your strategy. So actually, as people will arrive, okay, and our lives will be bigger, the actual interaction of the live will also be bigger, you know. So this is what I'm um this is my plan, and I know that, you know, these things take time to grow, because actually we are not doing anything flashy. um it's really hard to stay 5 hours with a guy that is it's basically just talking about the nothing, because I know that I'm talking about the nothing, about the you know, the live, except for, you know, some topics that I need to explain, or to, I don't know, that you ask me about, but actually there is not a lot of interaction, because we are trading, okay. So I know that something like that, it requires a lot of time before growing, because actually the the target and the people that could appreciate something like that are very, very, very few. And for me it's okay like that, because I actually want people that really understand what trading is in the long term, and not guys that just want to make a payout from a prop firm. Okay, I mean, if we have that guys or those guys, it's okay, but they need to have that mindset where, when they understand that maybe trading is not what they thought it was, in that specific moment they understand that can make that they can make a shift. Okay, so I need open-minded people, because those people, if don't make the shift, will never be profitable in trading, because actually they can get payouts, but in the long run they will fail. And this is actually a problem that a lot of people have. They actually made payout because the strategy work, or what they, you know, what they do work, but at the end of the day, maybe after 1, 2, or 3 years, if they got lucky at the beginning, they end up losing everything. okay? Because they don't have the strategy, because they don't have the tools, because they don't have the mindset to actually maintain that level of consistency and focus and profitability in the long run. So this is actually what I'm trying to build. And since this is very disruptive, I mean, no one is doing something like that. When you do something that it's really far apart from everything else that from everything has a common sense. I don't know if you get what I mean, because a common sense would be making a flashy live, or some videos where I just show you the price before and after, and I say, look, we made $40,000, for example. No, this is hype. People love these things, but actually there is no value, in these things. So the common sense would require me to do something like that in order to grow the channel. But I actually want to take another route. I want to grow organically, maybe slower, but giving value, real value. Okay, so when you do something that is totally different from what the market require, or what the general public requires, I know it's gonna be slower, okay, but this is actually what we want to do, in the group, and in this group. So actually we have only this one, and this is not what I mean. This is not bad. It's not bad. But it's actually the only one. We need something else here, or another push higher, or something clean like this one, and maybe we can, let's say, statistically hop for price, to get there. And from, let's say, from there to there, actually it would be a good profit, and that makes sense, okay? But apart from that, we really don't have, anything else. So today is gonna be very, very slow, but very, very slow. Maybe on forex. Yeah, this is not good anymore for me. Maybe on forex we have something, but this, I think that this one, it's going to, we had this lag, this extension, and now I think that we are experiencing a deeper, a deeper pullback, and maybe after that, we will experience something like that, and those points are actually the points that we want to trade. Because the context is very good, but we miss the trade, not clean. This is not very clean, so I really don't like when we have something like that, because it's not clean at all. But if this one does something like that, you know, maybe it could have a sense. But right now this is very big in terms of pattern of the size. Okay, so I don't like it. I would never trade that for the moment, in this moment. Okay, just a minute, guys. So actually, I'm here, guys. I'm just checking. Okay, I'm back. So I think, as you can see, that this is going hot. This is not bad. I mean, it seems liquid, and this is actually a good one. It's actually a perfect one, not a good one, a perfect one. Okay, so this one, it's something, yeah, waiting for a pullback there, you know, waiting for a pullback and a continuation. This is phenomenal. I mean, this is a very good context, and something like that, it's really hard to find. Something like that, usually you find something like that when QQ is, you know, rising, and you find a lot of stocks that are in this kind of environment. I remember that when QQQ was here, almost all these stocks was like that. The stock that I, you know, traded because of my filters, and so this is, I really like it. It's very good. So let's hope that we can hold this kind of price action. You know, this is totally different. We have delivery there. This is, you know, not perfect. I would feel safer if we had another push and then a pullback, and the pullback, you know, being something like that in that zone. I would be, I would feel safer. Okay, this is good. I mean, not yet, obviously, but actually, if we have a pullback here, it's a good pullback like this one. But actually, if I had the pullback a little bit higher, I would feel really safer. Okay, and this is one of those sessions where you basically have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and that this is not a session. This is not a real session. Maybe something we set up in some hours. It's hard, but maybe something could set up in 1 2 hours. But actually, this is not a session. When especially for stocks, when the market is like that, there is really little that you can do. Okay, so you can decide not to trade. You can stay there and backtest, but actually, um, trading trading your capital in situation like this one, it's really hard. You can follow this stock because this could set up and could give you a nice a nice trade, but actually there is nothing to do. We have 2 trades, so we really need to wait. Really need to wait. So let's see if we have something else here. No, actually we have less. Yeah, and so let's go here. So yeah, I would feel safer if I had, let's say, a setup when the context, with the context being here, I would really feel safer. But actually, this one, after this big drop, this one is not bad. Okay, so actually, if we have a setup here, it's not bad. But this is not the kind of setup that we want to see because it's a little bit choppy, a little bit weaky. So actually, this is not the setup. That one, this one, was a very good one. So I think that if I want to trade forex successfully, I think that I need to start. Yeah, but I can't. I need to start 2 hours before, so at 1:30 p.m. But I really can't. I really can't. But the major moves are exactly between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. Yeah, because that is the moment where we have more liquidity, and consequently we have the bigger moves. I mean, look at this one. This one was a perfect move. Entry here. Price never came back and just, went up. Yeah. Like the Euro New Zealand trade from yesterday. I mean, that was a good one. Was one of those situations where actually we had a trade in our, let's say, time zone. Not time zone, time windows. Sorry. So actually we have something, okay, on that time window too. But it would be better to trade from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Or in the morning. So I'm sorry, guys, for you basically, because I know that this is about transparency and about showing every one of you like a real trading session is, but I'm sorry about the fact that these days have been very slow, and today it's very, very slow. And so I know that it's a little bit annoying. Okay, and I know that trading must be boring, I know that, but actually if we had something more, maybe some setups, maybe some, more assets that are setting up, or they are in a good context to set up, we could do a little bit more. And when I say a little bit more, I mean from a live point of view. Okay, there would be something more to discuss about, there would be something more to ask you about. So what would you do here and here, for example, no? and and that is not happening. Okay, so I'm sorry for that, but actually that is trading, because we are here to trade, right? Not to make marketing or something like that. But I'd like to find a way to interact with you, and even if we have a slow market, you know, to give you something to stay in the live, even if there is it's a no trade live. Okay, so I'm just studying about that, as I told you yesterday. um, I'm just trying to invent something, you know, to be different from the others, but maintaining the spirit, the overall goal of of this life, that it's transparency, honesty, showing boring things. Actually, showing boring things is not a good thing to say, but it's actually what it is, showing boring things, because the majority of live that I've done and that I will do will basically be an absolute, I don't know how to say, ground zero, where we do nothing. Okay, so this is actually the truth. Yeah, this is something that I don't like. Very, very bad price action. So at this point, I'm hoping to have another push and a decent, a decent pullback, because this is not good at all. Yeah, you know, we are basically having always less partner, less assets, sorry, because there is no volume. Um, there is no volume. Yeah, look. It opened here, it went down, it went up, but basically it opened here. Sorry guys, yeah, it opened here and now price is there, but you know, there is no strength, there is nothing here. And so this is why basically we are doing nothing, because if we had strength here, maybe a candle like that, we would have a lot more, you know, assets here setting up. And actually with the ones that we have, we can do nothing, because there is nothing to do. I mean, they are not in the right condition to be traded. And the volume, so look at those, look at these, sorry, these are the best moving, let's say, no, these are the best moving. And if you see, we don't have a single stock above 1 million, only this one. We don't have a single stock about 1 million. So that means that generally speaking, in this, let's say in this moment, in this stock market, there is no volume. So the question here is, why am I saying all these things? Because I want to give you another perspective, okay? Maybe you don't trade stocks, maybe this is the first time, maybe you have another style. There could be millions of variables, okay? But what I'm actually trying to do here is to give you all the tools to understand the way I trade, so that way you can understand what I'm doing. So why I'm not trading, why all these assets are labeled with a purple flag, that means liquid, why we can trade when things are in liquid. So for example, here things are in liquid, a lot in liquid, this is a lot in liquid, so this for me is again in liquid, so I can trade it. And now these assets are just dropping lower and lower and lower, so actually there is no need to check them, because you know there is nothing to check. I mean, look, they're basically just dropping, and so I can trade anything. I could trade shorts, yes, definitely I could trade shorts, but my scanner is for long only, and I don't want to create another scanner for shorts, because I think that is not the moment to do something like that, because the QQQ is still overall bullish. So if, for example, yeah, if this is April, right? Yeah, April. Okay, so this is this year, guys, this was insane rally, okay? And this is April, this was April. If we are in a situation now we are in a situation like this one, okay, let me show you. Okay, now we are in that situation. Okay, if we go in that situation here, oops, now I will, in that specific scenario, I will start looking for shorts. Okay, so I modify a little bit my scanner, I create another scanner for shorts, and I try to look for shorts here. But because we have an overall, let's say, situation, an overall market that is short, right now it's not short yet, quite the opposite, it's still quite bullish, because if we look at this, that is an either it's an higher time frame, okay. We are not in that specific situation. As you can see, we are a rising 20, okay, so we are not here, we are not here, we are not here, we are not definitely here, okay. So what's the point in looking for a short if the overall market is still long? So this is why I'm not interested right now in this specific moment to create another scanner for shorts, okay, because actually the market is still long. So if I have to wait 1, 2, 3, 4 session, because actually there is little to do, I'm very happy to do that. Maybe I transition to forex, try to trade forex, but actually that is the why in this specific moment I'm not looking for shorts, okay. Okay, maybe I don't know what's happening here, but you know, if it gives me something really clean, Again, this is not clean. Actually, this one is the only one in the forex space that we can trade. This one, you know, it's about to do something like that, in my opinion. Or you know, we could do something like that, and so we could do, and that would be nice, something like that, you know, and we can trade a pullback, and we can trade a pullback, so that would be actually nice. So I need price to go below, yeah, let's say something like that. Okay, let me check. I'm back here. So think about, actually, you know, as we grew up in a trading sense, you know, not as human being, you know, from being a child and growing up, becoming adult, but as we grew up as trader, I remember this thing that I always been taught to make an analysis. So go, for example, on before using the EDC method, I use the classical multi-time frame analysis, where I started from the month, weekly, daily, 4 hour, and let's say 1 hour. Then it was 15 minute and 5 minute and 1 minute. Okay, so I was taught that this was the best way, you know, to perform a multi-time frame analysis, because actually you need to understand what was happening on the higher to actually align yourself when trading, you know, the lowers. But the problem here is that you have a lot of time frames here. So every single time frame basically is telling you something different from another time frame. And the real problem is not about doing a multi-time frame analysis, but the real problem is that in this kind of scenario, you can always force yourself to find a trade. Okay, so let's say that you trade the simplest strategy in the world. Let's say that the strategy is part of the smart money concept. So let's say that you wait for a breakout structure, you take the order block and you wait for price to come into the order block, and then you maybe lower the time frame, or in the same time frame you look for a confirmation for a continuation. Okay, so it's a really simple strategy. In this kind of environment where you have monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, something like that, okay, something like that is something that you can basically find every single day, because there will be, let's say that the monthly, it's the time frame that you use for the higher, the bias, let's say, okay, the weekly and the monthly. So the daily, let's say, okay, let's say that the daily is the zone where you look for this kind of pattern, and then you can refine on 4 hour, and maybe you can enter on 15 minutes, okay, something like that. So actually what happens here is that this kind of pattern, okay, on the daily, you can find this kind of pattern everywhere. I mean, now the price is here, and maybe you can find the pattern here, and so here you have the zone, and maybe you have, 1,000 pips away, it doesn't matter, but you can find that zone. You always can find a zone where you had a break of structure, and then from that zone of an order block has been formed, and you wait for price to come back to that order block. So something like that, it's what actually is ruining your trading, or will ruining your trading, or has ruined your trading, because it pushes you, it forces you to find a setup every single day, because you don't know the context, you don't know the cycles, you don't know how money is injected in the market, you don't know about accumulation and reaccumulations, you don't know about what is a delivering market, so a markup or markdown if you are trying to short. You basically don't know anything, and instead of looking, okay, for trades, so this pattern, that it is in a specific context, okay, with a specific cycle, with a specific way, that money is showing you to be injected in the market, with specific accumulation or reaccumulation. So something very specific that you don't find every day. So instead of doing something like that, you actually are trading blind and trading every single setup, even though maybe you are, instead of a delivering context, you maybe are in a zone like this one, okay? And so basically in a zone like this one, this kind of pattern here, you can find it almost everywhere, and multiples of these, okay? So this is actually the big difference that differentiate or separate a profitable trader from an unprofitable trader. The ability to understand the context, to understand the cycle, to understand how money is moving, accumulation, reaccumulation, to understand when actually get behind the prices, and to actually understand this, let's say, window, okay, of action, because you can execute only if you are here. And this works even if you do something like that, okay? That means that you will not have a trade every single day, but you have thought that every single day you can open the chart, mark your zones, and wait for the trade to reach that zone, to trade off that zone. And this is actually what it's destroying, what is destroying everything about about the online trading. If you think about that, it's very powerful, not what I'm saying, Okay, it's not powerful what I'm saying, but it's powerful the fact that if you understand this little detail, you basically have your life changed, your trading life changed forever, because actually you understand where profitability comes from. And this will be the title of this live, where profitability comes from, or something along this line. Okay, so while we were speaking, actually this one dropped down, okay, and this is something that I don't want to trade. I don't like. I mean, it's not bad, but I really don't like these huge wicks. Okay, and we have wicks there, so it's really not my kind, my pattern. So I will not trade this one. This is too short, but actually this is a red one, and if we manage to go a little bit lower, okay, actually with one or two candles, something like that, this would be very nice. But we need to wait for price to do something and dropping a little bit lower. So this actually is not a bad one. I mean, it's clean. I really don't like a lot the wicks there, but this is actually clean. But I need it to go. Oh well, no. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I need to price to be a little bit, pausing. I think it's raining. Pausing here. Something like that, and then going. That for me would be perfect. Maybe this is too fast. If it does something like that, it's too fast. It's valid, but it's too weaky. I don't like this candle closing like that. It's too weaky. Yeah. It's too weaky. Wow. It's pouring rain out there. Really? Suddenly. Maybe you can hear that, and usually when something like that happens, we have blackout, okay? So if something shut down suddenly, it's because of a blackout, okay? So forgive me, but that is something that I can control now. because I don't have another I don't know, um, let me see uh, how it's called, because I don't know in English. Yeah, actually it's hailing down. It's not raining, it's hailing. Uh, but when I was looking, yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's correct, but it's an emergency generator. You know, so when electricity shut down, you can continue working. I don't have that yet, so this is why if it happens, everything shut down, because I don't have that generator, but I will have that, because it's important when you trade, you know, to have a backup. Let's call it like that, a backup. Yeah, it's hailing, um, and it's really weird because I mean it was almost 40 um, 40 Celsius, you know, today, and the sun was shining all day long, and suddenly it's hailing. You know, summer is crazy sometimes. Yeah, this is not something where we can trade. Um, Even if this one goes, I can trade it. It's it's too wiki. I don't really like something like that. Okay, it it's more likely that price goes, it comes back, and maybe goes again, that it goes straight away from, you know, from here. Actually, there is some strength, as you can see, but if we have that strength, what I'm waiting is a push and then a pullback, and I'm gonna trade that pullback here. That it was I was you know, telling you earlier. That is actually what I'm waiting. So hoping for the push to happen so I can actually trade the next pullback. This is too small, so I can trade this one, and there is nothing else that I can do. This is something like this one, you know, I don't like a lot, also because of these mega wicks here. So I don't like. If price goes down and we have a solid red candle here, I could say yes, you know, I could. It depends, but not like this one. You know, if I trade something like that, if I trade something like that, I can trade something like that. Okay, this is my kind, you know, of pullback. So guys, let me know what you have on your watch list, what you're trading, forex, stocks. Are you focused on gold like a lot of people, you know, nowadays? Let me know if you want. Obviously, there is no. I can say you know what to do, but if you know, I would like to know what you are trading, what you have your eyes on, what you prefer, you know, trading. Okay. In the meanwhile, I just want to have two cherries because I need to eat my snack. So I'll be back in 1 minute, 45 seconds. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. Okay, I'm back. So guys, sorry if I eat something, but you know that this is transparency, and a trader needs to eat. As simple as that. Wow, this cherries are very big. Mm. Actually, very good. All the GHF payers are, every single payer is full of these wicks. Look at also on the higher, on the daily, it's full of wicks. always full of wicks. I really hate this one. I really hate this one. Now it's becoming cleaner, maybe, but you know, you always have these wicks. It's insane. So CHF, GPB CHF, look at this one. Obviously less than the other one, but look at these wicks. I forgot to show you guys that we don't have anything to worry about because there is no red folders, so we're good to go, and we don't, you know, need to worry about possible spikes in the prices because basically no news. So this is actually a very good one. A very good one. J&J Johnson. This is actually still a good one. Maybe. Maybe something like that. Not my preferred. Absolutely, this is still good. And this is, yeah, I mean, yeah, could be. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, if we have something along this line, very powerful and pause, that is, you know, something that we could buy stop. So maybe there is something else that is setting up. Like this is still overextended. This is, yes, we are below, but we are still. Yeah, actually this could be another good candidate, you know, a sort of good candidate. Not the perfect candidate though. This is too big, so don't like it. Don't like. I don't like it. No, this is not overextended yet. But this is very full of gaps. I mean, that is something that I don't like. Not. Yeah. Oh, actually, the setup was there, so no setup for me. But yeah, this was a good one. But no setup for me because it gapped up today. And so waiting. Overextended. This is actually very good. What's that? RTX. Yeah. This is very good. Very, very good. So you see that even that we are only on the SP 100 stocks, solely on the 100 stocks, there are a lot more opportunities here in the higher time frame than in the lower, because actually there is more cleanness in the higher time frame, and so stocks tend to go to move higher, to go higher, and so that is the consequence, the reason, sorry, why there is a better context or a better environment in the higher time frame, and actually why you can scale a lot on the higher time frame. This is I need to see it go lower, and then I think that we stop. This was a good one, but now it became choppy. Yeah, I'm not focusing too much on the hires because we already have a lot, we have 6 7 assets that could set up, so I mean, there is no reason why I need to check any further, but I really love hires. Yeah, this, you see, this is very, very bad. So imagine your life when you will have enough capital to be able to trade the daily entry. Okay, so that means daily, weekly, 10 weeks, and where you basically your context time frames, so you need to have a lot of capital, okay, because you have to wait a lot, but you need to see the charts every 10 weeks. 10 weeks, it's two month and a half, 10 weeks, to see if something changed in the context, and it's just one candle. Okay, so let's say not one candle, because in one candle it doesn't change anything, but let's say 2 to 3 candles. So that means that you need to wait 1 year. 2 to 3 candles, it's 30 weeks. Let's say 5 candles, it's 50 weeks. Okay, because yeah, 5 candles, so this is overextended. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, 5 candles to change my context, you know, from an overextended context to a reaccumulation to a possible cycle again. So let's say 5 candles, so it's 50 weeks, so it's 1 year. So basically you need to see your chart, you know, on that specific asset only once a year to see if the context changed. So if from a bad context it moved in a good context, then you need to see the charts once a week, just to see that if you have the pattern that you're looking for, you know, whatever the pattern is, if you have the pattern that you're looking for. So once a week. And then you need to see the chart once a day, or maybe twice in the morning. And no, it's stocks, so stocks is a limited session, so once a day at the end of the session, okay, once a day, to see what happened and eventually to put your order. So think about making money like that. You basically have the time to do everything you want. Everything you want. That is my goal. That is my goal. It's phenomenal. It's very phenomenal. Because maybe for you it's weird, but I actually hate staying all the day long here. It's actually something that I hate, because I'm always been that kind of human being that need movements in life, okay? And because of my health issues, it's now 9 years basically that I can do what I want. Now I start with golf, that it's the only sport that relaxes me and doesn't harm me, okay? I don't know how it's possible, because you have a lot of things that stretch in, you know, in golf. So I don't know how it's possible that it doesn't harm me, but it is, and I'm grateful for that. And so now that I started golfing, I just would like to golf, you know, all day long, because my main goal is to become a pro. So for me, you know, would be a dream. You can play golf, or you can invest in something, or you can open businesses, you can buy businesses, you can do basically when you want what you want when you have money. And actually trading, that will be your first source of income. It's something that you do on the sideline, because you know you don't need to stay all the day long on the charts. So imagine that would be phenomenal. Really. And then when you have money, you can invest in what you want. Okay, actually maybe it's not perfect. It's not perfect at all, but maybe this is something tradable. I don't like this week. I don't like this week. So maybe no, it's not tradable for me. This is too weaky. This is too weak. I like the general shape. I would like to trade it, but I will not trade it because it's too weaky. Okay, I'm done with cherries. I'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Okay. Okay. Just received a message from Jacob that told me that the backtest was insane. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that because actually everyone who follows a method, a system, okay, a path, if the path is correct, and if the trader puts the amount of work required in, you can actually become profitable in trading, because at the end of the day it's just a matter of math. It's just a matter of math. This oh my god, I can't use this magic mouse. This price action is not very good. So maybe even if I had a good setup, I wouldn't trade it, because actually this setup is not good. These gaps I don't like. And Dash is something that has always had nice volume. I mean, it was not in liquid. You can see there is volume, so I don't know why now the price action is like that. It's really weird. Yeah, always less assets in the green. So yeah, so that means that maybe QQQ is dropping again or still there. Yeah, it's yeah, unfortunately. It's dropping. You see? Start there, down, up. Look at that drop here. This is a heavy drop. And now we are basically below the starting point. Or no, the starting point was that one, sorry. So yeah, just slightly above, but this is why there is nothing to do. This is why there is nothing to do, and something like that I really don't like. Okay, so I can trade something like that, maybe, but it's the issue there is these weeks, and there is no real something on the downside. I mean, yes, there is something like that, but it's not something that I like. Maybe if I have another leg down and another leg up, something like that, maybe that one could be a good pattern, but we need basically to see something like that. And yeah, so in that specific situation, this could be a good candidate. In that specific situation, this one. So yeah. Okay, so nothing to do, guys. If you have question, I'm here. I'm just checking a couple of things. So actually this, the only thing that I can wait for is this, maybe higher, this. Okay, actually the phone is recharged, so okay. I don't like to have many cables, you know, in front of me. I really like to have a clean setup. The cleaner, the better. So I was looking among these assets if there was something in a short environment, and when I see short environment, I mean this time frame being below the 50 MA, the CN one, and I, you know, something like that, that it's here to actually try to you know, take a short if there is the chance. So for example, that was a good short yesterday. That was definitely a good short. So this is what I mean. So maybe if the, I don't know if there is volume here. That's the problem. I don't know if there is volume. Wait. I don't know if there is volume. I mean, yeah, the volume is not. Maybe we have volume right now, but yeah, it's not. No, no, unfortunately. So let's starting from there, and let's see if we have something. Because if we have actually something in that, like this one, no, I need to be below. This is not okay, need to be below. But if we have something in that situation, you know, the short, like this one. Oh yeah, but I forgot about that. I just eliminated, yeah, right. I just, you know, got rid of all the payers, the asset that in this time frame, you know, were below the 20. So I actually can't find anything really. Yeah, it makes sense. It's my bad. It's my bad. Actually, if If I hadn't had this candle here, that would have been a good setup. That would have been a good setup, actually. So maybe that is something that right now we can think about trading. If we eliminate this candle. Yeah, but it's in liquid. I really don't care it. So let's leave it here, and let's see if there is actually something. Yeah, it's actually a good pattern. I don't like that candle. It's a good pattern, but I don't like the price action. So it's a little bit in liquid. In fact, you see it's 500k. It's not 1 million, and you know I don't feel safe trading it. That's the most important thing. That when you backtest, forward test, and basically you understand your system, your eyes can recognize a pattern and can see, or with the eyes of intuition, okay, because maybe it's not something there, but with the eyes of intuition, your brain can understand if something is tradable and it's following your rules, your system, or actually there is something off, you know. And for me there is something off here. So actually this one is not bad because we are reaccumulating, a bigger reaccumulation, and if we have a push and small reaccumulations, you know, these are all reaccumulation that we can trade, you know, all pauses that we can trade. So but maybe next week, because I don't know if today price is able to, you know. So let's see if something here, maybe below, there is strength here, so maybe. So just checking quickly. So actually this SP 500, it's different. I don't know why. It looks very different from the QQQ, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, actually maybe yeah, maybe if we have another push, yeah, if we have a big push here, a decent push here, and then a pullback, that is something that it's tradable. So yeah. So let me check So let's put an alert here. Okay, to see when price, and let's put an alert here. Okay, so let's put an alert here. So I'm start playing with alerts, guys, so I don't have to check them anymore. It's wise. Why didn't I use them before? Another there, and another here, and we are done. Our work is done, guys. We can yeah, obviously I was joking, but actually alerts are useful, you know. I need to use them more often. Actually, I don't know how. Maybe 100. So eliminate the delete the inactive. Thank you. Okay, this is one that I put. Oh yeah, now I have 100 on price and 100 on technical, so on the indicator. So basically it's, let's say, 200. So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of things, you know, to play with. I mean, 100 alerts is a lot of thing. I will not use 100 alerts on a day trading session. Maybe if you trade the hires, because you have a lot of assets to deal with, but not with the day trading. So I'm good to go, let's say. So now we wait, just checking sometimes if there is something new here. I don't think so. So just checking sometime if there is something new. We already check, you know, if there was something new here, but there is not, and actually there is nothing that we can do. This is chopping around, so nothing to do. Yeah. Okay, back here. So actually, this is something that I um, want to talk about. I mean, we are in a trading session, and sometimes you see me doing other stuff. Um, Realistically speaking, when you are in a trading session and you are in your office or in your own, basically in a safe environment, let's say in a safe environment, okay, um, and you have nothing to do and you have alert set like like today, okay, but even if you don't have alerts, um, it's realistic that you don't stare at the chart every single minute of the session looking for every single change in the candle, hoping for your target to be hit or need to change. Okay, that is not realistic. Okay, that is not realistic. It's realistic maybe when you have an active session, when the QQQ condition is good and it's rising, so you have multiple assets that could set up. So that is another environment. But when you are in this kind of environment, whereas everything is basically still, forex, commodities, indices, stocks, so everything, it's realistic that you do other things. Okay, so for example, if I were not in live, maybe I don't know, I would prepare some post, for Instagram, or for some ideas for YouTube video, so it's realistic. So when I started this channel, and the idea of lives, okay, the idea was to show everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything, and so if during your trading session, you have a phone call, or you have your girlfriend or your boyfriend calling for you, it's realistic that unless you are in a trade, and so you have to wait, okay, so it's realistic that you simply walk away from the chart for 1 2 3 minutes because you have all that set, and then you do whatever you need to do or you want to do, and then came back. Because actually a trading session is you against the market. It's you that are looking for a setup, and in the action, okay, in the action of looking for a setup, so in the waiting, okay, you can do what you want. If you're profitable, if you're confident, if you know what you have to look for, if you have everything under control like it should be when you're profitable, it's realistic that you do other things, okay, while you wait. Because there is no point, no reason in staying and staring at the charts all day long. Okay, so why I say that? Because if you think that maybe you see me too many times walking away from the charts, or looking at the phone, or talking with my girlfriend, or playing with my cat or my dogs, with my cats or my dog, or eating or drinking, that is actually more realistic than anything else. Think about it. Okay, so it's not because I am disrespectful, it's just because I'm doing what I would do if I were not in live. And my goal was to live stream everything. This is a real day in the life, okay. And why I say that? Because in a day in the life, and you in a day, let's say in a trading session, this is realistic. Phone call, drink, playing with the cats and the dogs, talking with a girlfriend, or answering a message. This is realistic. What is not realistic, it's just walking away from the chart, going into your Lambo, and going to the gym. You know, because day in the life is almost always like that. That is not realistic unless you are a higher time frame trader and you have a lot of capital. You enter on a daily, okay, on a daily entry, or you trade forex, for example, on 4 hour. But even on 4 hour, every single 4 hour you need to look for the trade, you need to manage. So it's not so simple to be outside. I personally, for example, me, uh, I'm not capable, I'm not able, you know, to trade from the phone, to manage from the phone, to make an analysis from the phone. Maybe you are, but it's always better to have a computer. So basically, when you are trading, you are working. And it's not realistic that you work from the beach or you work in the gym unless you need to look to the charts once a day. Okay? That's another story. But if you are in a trading session, it's not realistic that you walk away from the chart and go outside in a bar, in a gym, at the beach, hanging out with friends. That is not realistic. So think about that. This is not I'm not disrespectful. I just want to show you what I do every single day, okay? And this is the most realistic way that I found. Okay, I'm here in front of the charts, but actually there is nothing to do. So we talk about something and we need to talk, but it's realistic to have moments in time where you do other things. Okay, so this is important. I just wanted to clarify that because maybe someone could be used to seeing something else online, you know, where there is a real trading session. They always there and they are perfect, with perfect, you know, I don't know, headphones or perfect setup, and they stay there and talk with the audience, and it's okay. But that is actually not a real trading session. Okay, this is marketing. Ok, is that okay, guys? I hope it's okay, because it's important for me that you understand that I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm transparent, okay? And I do everything live. If I had a camera following me, I would do everything live, but I don't have a camera following me, fortunately. And so you see only my bedroom and my screen. And so sometimes I walk away, I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go talking with my girlfriend, with my cat, playing a little bit, just maybe laying down because I have back pain, because I have a pain in my back, sorry. You know, this is real. This is real. And I can envision when we will have 100 or 200 or 300 live people, it would be really hectic. I mean, you know, but that would be the moment where, if there is nothing to do, okay, we have a lot of people. So if I have to take a phone call or play with my dog, I will do it anyway, okay? But that will be the moment to answer questions. So with 200 people, you know, you have a lot of questions, and so maybe you go through the questions and you take that time where basically there is nothing to do to talk with people. This is my goal. This is my end goal. Okay, but it takes time. Maybe it will take years. Okay, unless I can crack the code of YouTube, it will take years. Okay. So I think everything is set, but now we are dropping. This is almost it, but yeah, this is not. Yeah, I don't like that. No, I need to see something going lower and then higher. So this candle ruined everything. Yeah, I need to see something down here. Would be perfect. That scenario would be perfect. But actually, yeah, this big week down ruined everything. But without this week, we wouldn't have the pattern actually without this week. So let's see what happened. Yeah, this is actually very good. Very, very good. Oh, something very, very important. We usually do not trade on earnings. Okay. On the higher time frame, I mean, you know, we can trade on highers, on the earnings. Sorry, in the lowers, because basically it's just like another day with more volatility, and since there is more volatility, we can maybe catch some good patterns if the price has the time to pause, you know, to give us a decent pause. We actually can trade it and make a lot of risk reward because of the environment. But actually on the higher, it's highly recommended to not hold the trade if you are going, you know, the next day on a earning, if you have earnings, because yeah, it's unless you for example open the trade here, for example, and you are here, now that makes sense. You get a partial, and then you leave open, because and you also move the stop loss, because if it gaps down, it takes your stop loss, but you are in profit. It's really hard that gaps down here, okay, on the higher. So I mean, this is a daily, okay, so or a weekly, maybe a weekly. So it's really hard that something like that happens, okay. No, sorry guys, if you are in the highest, you enter on a 65 minutes. So let's say that this is the entry time frame, so it's a 65 minute. Yeah, it can happen that price open there. This is, I don't know, what is that? Oh, what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, it's a 27% gap. I mean, yeah, can happen, but it's really rare, okay. And so that actually does make sense. You get a partial, you move your stop loss, and if the gap is in your favor, maybe you have price opening here, because 20% up, it happens, okay. A lot of times 20% down, if you are in a good environment, okay, if you are in a good environment, it's less likely. And so that could happen, and so your risk reward from 1 to 6 is doubled. Basically it's doubled, and so that makes sense. But if you are just enter the trade, if you are basically there, and here we have the weekly close, it's really hard. Not the weekly close, sorry, the day close, and the next day we are going on earnings. It's really hard, to trade something like that, to keep it open. I mean, better to close it than to wait for the earnings, for another setup, or the next days. So this is actually very important. Never trade on earnings. It's actually a risk that it's not worth taking. Yes, this thing is still dropping. So I'm waiting for a big push, but we have to see if price action get better, because this is not very good. And if the price action maintains itself like that, it's not worth for me to put my money behind that, okay? Because it's not, it seems illiquid. It's weird. There is something, I can't define what is precisely, but there is something that is off, okay? And I think that this is something that is off. So there is no liquidity. There is, but there is not enough, and I don't like. It's not smooth, okay? So even though it skyrocketed and gave me the setup, maybe I could decide not to trade it because of how the price action looks, okay? This is actually very good. I love it. I love it. I love all the environment, all the context, and it could, you know, it could give us an impulse here and we miss it because I can trade that. But yeah, it could happen because actually this is a pattern, but I don't like to trade pattern like this. There is no sell-off. It's everything. It's off here. Okay, so this is the pattern. So I'm waiting for another push down to have the triangle, the breakout pattern, and then to try to trade it because these patterns leave the wick on. Okay, let's pretend that it doesn't exist. Pull back like this one, there are just wicks basically. It's they are not for me. I like there's nothing that I like here. I like let's say that I like this is failed, but I like pattern like this one. Okay, this is the kind of pattern that I like. Then it failed. This was a break even, I think. Oh no, yeah, this was the evening. Okay, it was the other session here, so I wouldn't have opened this one, but this is the kind of pattern that I like, and you can see that there is, okay, what it is, there is a huge difference from that to that. Okay, so this is actually the way I see things. Okay, just need to listen from an audio, okay, vocal text from my girlfriend, guys. Just give me 1 minute, 1 minute and 50 seconds. Okay. back. Nope. Okay, actually for someone this could be a tradable pattern. For someone. For me no. Yes. Oh, today really tired, guys. If it were for me, I would definitely end the live here, and not the live in general, the session. It's yeah, it's 6 o'clock here, so yeah, definitely. Today I feel very tired. Just a minute, guys. Okay. It's hot today. After the rain, um, after the rain, there is a lot of humidity, if that is the right term, and it's very hot today. Even with the fan here, my mini fan, it's hot. Yeah, you see, even though this is a very trending market in a good context, it's the only one that it's rising, while the QQQ is still it's it's ranging there, or it's dropping. Even though it is like that, there is no strength here. I mean, no movement at all. Look at how price is slow. It seems like it's not moving, and that is actually what happens when everything is slowing down. You need to slow down with prices, okay? And so session could be slow not only because you don't have an asset, but also because the asset that you have don't move. And yeah, you have to take that into consideration, because it's part of the trading of your strategy. So let's focus on the on the Euro New Zealand. Let's see if price wants to continue dropping. Sorry guys. Yeah, this was the setup from yesterday. Very cool. Very cool. So you see, on a higher time frame, you need to wait a lot. You know, these are all setups that could somehow, you know, give us a setup, but they are very, very slow. You know, this one, no, here. Yeah. Very, very slow. So I think that even if this, you know, there is no enough time, so it's unrealistic that with one candle now we reach this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to wait 8 candles or something, 8 from 6 to 9 candles, and yeah, we're basically almost at the edge of our trading session. So it's actually not useful, you know, to wait. So this is why I'm thinking about not considering stocks anymore right now, and let's see if we have something here setting up. Maybe we have something here. Yeah, but for stocks today is not the day. For stocks is not the day. So I will focus on let's say on forex for another. So the issue with forex is that it's about to start the ASEAN session, and the ASEAN session is low unless you trade GBP yen. Yes, the yen or the CAD maybe, or the Australian dollar. Yeah, so unless you're trading one of these, it's really hard that we have movement. Okay, it's not always like that. I mean, okay, it's not always like that, because yesterday we had the movement, but the movement was at 4:30 p.m. Okay, now we are 6:15, so we are almost 2 hours late. Okay, and then in this specific scenario, it dropped this night. This one, Euro New Zealand, it dropped this night. I don't know if there was some news or something like that, but if you look at that, I don't know what's happened. You know what's happened tonight, this candle. Okay, but look at that. This is the ASEAN session. You see that the ASEAN session is not moving. Okay, the starting of the ASEAN session, it's not moving. So actually waiting for something to move right now, it's very hard. So the problem with forex is the liquidity. There is really no strength behind the prices to actually wait for something useful when you move, let's say, to the evening hours, my time. Okay, it's like the afternoon in New York time. Okay, so when the, let's say, yeah, noon New York time or 1 p.m. New York time, it's the volume is starting to decrease. Okay, so I think I will wait. I think I will wait. It depends on the price, but let's say 30 minutes until 7 p.m. Okay, until 7 p.m. To see what's happening on the forex side, because I know that stocks are there. They will not set up. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. So if I had to trade this pattern, okay, if I had to trade this pattern here, the entry would have been this one. Yeah, this would have been the entry. I don't feel confident in trading something like that because it's too weaky, but actually this is a pullback, it's a pause, so it's tradable. So this would be the entry. So I usually don't trade something like that because usually it ends up chopping around and hitting the stop loss. Usually, maybe now it skyrockets, but usually it happens something like that. Or you take a break even because it goes, you move to break even, it goes down, it goes up, and goes down, or something like that. Okay, there is now a clear direction, especially when you have price doing something like that. Okay, so this is why I don't trade this kind of setup. So these were the weeks that I didn't like, that I actually don't like. Okay, this was good. I mean, the pattern started in a good way, became very ugly, and then finished in a good way. Okay, but too many weeks. You know, if you compare these to these, it's way different. Okay, so yeah. So as you can see, then it depends on the one's management style, but for me that could be a break even. But as you can see, even a pattern that is not perfect, that is not a good looking pattern in a good context, okay, understanding the cycles, understanding where you are in the market, understanding how money is injected in the market, could actually play out. Okay, it's more likely that play out that doesn't. Okay, so this is important, you know, for you to understand that, because this is why we are looking for pattern patterns, sorry, in a good context, you know. So this is why we are going through all the process of understanding, of studying, case studying, and something like that, to actually be able, you know, to understand the overall story behind the price and then take an informed decision with the information that we have. Wow. Yeah. So it would have been a good one. Maybe we are having something here, but I don't know, maybe. Still wiki. Yeah. Less markets. Less markets. Every 10 minutes we have less markets. So this is a bad sign. Bad sign, guys. There is no strength. No strength. No strength. And this is actually a beautiful feeling, sensation, and I can say that because, you know, it took me 9 years to get to this point. And actually the feeling when you open a trade that you don't have to think about because it's second nature for you, so you know what you need, you know, to find or to look for, and you actually open a trade even though that trade is not in the perfect condition like this one, and the trade delivers because actually the understanding is there. So you basically I want to share with you that, because basically when something like that happens, okay, your brain evolves like a Pokemon. Okay, your brain evolves because you actually start understanding that you have in your hands profitability, and that means that you can provide for yourself and your family and the future family of your family for the rest of your life with time. And you understand that you will never have a boss again, and you understand that you finally made it. And usually that is not something that happens overnight. And when I say overnight, I mean not overnight that you start and you're profitable. Okay, you start from scratch and you're profitable. Overnight, I mean that it's not something that happens from night to day or from day to night, okay, in one day. It's an understanding, a feeling, a knowledge, you know, that stacks every single day, every single month, every single year. And you get to a point where actually you feel yourself always closer, okay, always closer to the, let's say, to your how can I say, your goal, that it's the profitability. So you feel yourself always closer, but you're not yet. But every single day that feeling reinforces inside of you, and suddenly, because it's something that happens, at least for me, so slowly that you don't see the net difference, okay? So it happens that one day you wake up, and in that sense it's overnight. So one day you wake up, you are in front of the charts, and all the work you put in, even if it was not a perfect work, even if you could have taken faster route, okay, all that work pays off. And you actually understand that from that moment on you just can grow, because you have a baseline, and that baseline is the profitability. You know, that baseline is the understanding of the system that you have. So look at that trade, okay? For example, I was not sure if I wanted to trade it or not, but I say to you, if I had to trade this trade, the entry would have been here. And look at the trade. And this is something that I personally don't trade. There are maybe people in the mentorship that trades a pattern that looks like that. For me, it's not a trade, but look at the understanding. Price is going, even if this is not a setup for me, price is going, and I'm not mad at it because I wanted to open the trade because I'm missing out the trade. I'm not mad at it. I don't care if that lives without me, and that comes all from profitability. And I'm actually able to understand when money are really injecting, you know, and you can choose whether to trade that pattern or not. And that is the best freedom, let's call it that, that you can have, because actually you have a system that gives you multiple setups and you just have to choose wisely. So when you get to that point, you have that feeling inside of you, and I had that feeling the first time yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I wasn't able to sleep at night because I recognize that I made it. I made it. It's just a matter of time, but I made it. And it's a wonderful feeling. A wonderful feeling because you now know. And if we want to go farther with that topic, with that discussion, you know, it's not only that you know, but it's about the way you learn things, because this is not a strategy. A strategy tomorrow could, you know, not work anymore because it's a strategy. It's a minimal edge in that specific niche or market that tomorrow could work anymore. This is actually something different because we are talking about an understanding of how to read the price section, how to understand where our money, how to understand which assets is the asset that possibly have more institutional interest, you know, in it. So it's actually something very different. It's actually something very different, because it's not only that you know, but you also know that from that moment that you have the epiphany, the realization, from that moment on, okay, you will not come back anymore, because you will always have that understanding that it's acting like a parachute. Okay, so even if you're falling down, and falling down is a metaphor for the drawdown because it happens, even if you're falling down, you know that you have your parachute, you know that you know how to read the market, and now you know that it's only a matter of time before you recover the drawdown because you have your parachute. And that parachute is not a parachute that could not open when needed. You know that that parachute, when you click the button, you know, or you pull the string, I don't know how it works and never used it, you know that it works and it will work forever. Forever. It's like an insurance. It's like an insurance. And that is actually something that is mind-blowing, because when you feel it for the first time, you actually understand that all the years that you invested, okay, and not wasted, invested for that goal, for that knowledge to be yours, for that feeling actually come to an end. And that is the best feeling ever, guys. Best feeling ever. It's unbelievable. So another thing, guy, it's so I'm on Reddit, and no, let me check. Yeah, this is very bad. Okay, let me see. No. Okay, I'm on Reddit, and I'm surprised to see a lot of people, that you have subreddit, and so sometimes you have notification of people, even if you are not in that subreddit, you have notification of people writing in other subreddits. And I don't know if it's like that also in other country, but in Italy we have a lot of people that think that they are a failure, that they are a shit, that they don't know how to do basically anything, that maybe they are 30 and they feel like if they didn't accomplish anything in life, and things so on. So there are a lot of people struggling and having a hard time. Sorry guys, I lowered the volume a little bit. And having a hard time with life, basically, with dealing with life. And this actually made me reflect of the environment that we are in. Maybe my cat is, yeah, hey. And this made me reflect about the environment that we are in, the journey that we went through. And if you think about it, a lot of people are struggling. They don't know what to do in life. They basically don't even know that they are human beings that can do whatever they want in life. They just decide to do something and go for that thing. Okay, so they basically don't know. They think that the life is just flat, and there is no solution outside of the school and the work. They ask themselves how they can, escape the rat race, or they are in university and their exam their grades are not good, or they feel that they are a failure, because maybe they don't know how to interact with other people socially, or because they like to be alone and they are not friendly, let's say, so they do not have a lot of friends, and they actually don't know that all these things could actually be a superpower. Okay, and so I want, if you are seeing this live, because actually lives, my lives are philosophical, because I'm a philosophical person. Okay, so all my lives are philosophical, especially when we have nothing to do. But if you think about that, if you think about how the other people are struggling, okay, you need to feel grateful, grateful for the journey that you went through, and I mean the trading, because actually you found something that can completely change your life, and will completely change your life if you don't give up. But actually that you are ahead of 80% of people, because you don't know how many people complains in life, but actually don't have the tools to start stopping complaining and actually doing something. They don't have the tools because they don't have the mindset yet, or they don't have the mindset at all. Okay, so just the fact that you went through this journey and you decided for yourself that you wanted to be a trader, only for that you are ahead of 70%, 80% of people out there. And so that means that actually you have a mindset, listen to me, that will help you basically with every single situation or difficulty that you could have in life, because you actually have a mindset that is oriented, okay, towards the solution, not the problem. So you had a problem, maybe you are poor, or you want to do something in your life. I don't know why you choose trading, but something happened, and usually it's money, a lack of money, and you actually decide to do something. And that is powerful by itself. You actually decided to do something to change the situation you were in. So it's not simple for people to change, to start a change. Okay, it's not simple at all, because people fear changes. People love the comfort zones. People love to have everything, but they fear doing everything. So they would like to have everything, but doing nothing to have everything. Okay, so only the fact that you decided to go through that journey, it's something that actually put you ahead of 80% of the people, and you have to be grateful for that. So all this, all these words, just to say that you should be grateful, and you should understand that you are ahead, because most of the people out there complaining are not willing to do anything to change their situation, are not willing to ask for help. If they receive help, are not willing to follow the suggestion, the advice, are not willing to sacrifice anything, because, and it's bad to say, but the average human being, it's a failure. Not a failure because it's a failure per se, but because the brain is wired in a way that can help them. And if they don't face a situation where they suddenly, okay, because it, it happens like that, when they suddenly understand that something had to change, and usually if it's for an enlightenment or a big pain. Okay, so the change in your life happens for two reasons: or an enlightenment, so you wake up one day and you are enlightened and you understand that you were doing something wrong and you completely changing the path of your life, but it's very rare. Or for a big pain, so you are experiencing a big pain, you don't want to experience that pain anymore, and you say to yourself, okay, that's the limit, no more, no lower than that, okay, just higher, and something has to change. Okay, so that is actually how the change in your mindset, the transformation in your mindset happens. And so most of people are not wired that way, can make that change. So think about that next time that maybe you are down because something is not going like you want, because people are yelling at you or pointing the finger at you saying you are stupid, and this is all real things from my life, okay, real experience from my life. How many money did you make in these years? So it's that something that is useful to pursue if you don't make money, okay? Or something that someone that doesn't believe basically in you, and maybe they love you, okay, but they don't believe it's possible because they wouldn't be able to do that, and so they say to you that you can do it, okay. So whatever situation you could face in the future, and you will, think about the fact that you are ahead of 80% of the people, and you are ahead in that moment of the people that is saying you that you should quit, because they would have quitted. And so think about that, because it's so powerful, because you are part of a team, you are part of those human beings that are actually willing to do something for their life. And if you are actually willing to do something for your life for long enough, you actually get what you want, because no one else is willing to do that. That is the key. That is the key. That is the big advantage that we have. If your mind is wired in a way that you can't, literally can't stay at the same level, okay, but you want to grow, you want more in life, okay, and this is not a bad thing, even though people make you believe that it's a bad thing. So if you're wired that way, you have to think that you are actually ahead of the people, and that is a big advantage, okay. So take advantage of it. Yeah, this was my philosophical moment while we were waiting for, oh yeah, it's the moment to end. Oh, maybe, oh, let's say if we have something like here, maybe we have something, I don't know. The problems there is that you saw it's chopping around and it's late, so I'm not willing to open the trade here, really not willing to open the trade here, because it's late. I fear something like that. You see, this is yes, this is 7 p.m. and look at the choppiness. So opening something like that, it's not wise. So again, this is the choppiness of 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., again 7 p.m., 7 p.m. So look at that. This is not very 7 p.m. So yeah, this is why I'm not willing to open. Maybe this could set up, but I'm not willing to open this one. Yeah, we are far away from what we need to see, and yeah, there is nothing else. We are not inside of this one. This would have been a good trade, but not a pattern for me, so it's okay, it's perfect. And let's see this one, and maybe we are about to set up for this one, but yeah, it's too late for this one. So even if it's set up, if it's just for one asset, it's not worth it. Okay, guys. So okay, we're gonna end it up here for today, since it was a very slow day. We basically did anything. Okay. So thank you for following. Thank you for listening to my philosophical, reasoning and thoughts. I hope you appreciate, because I think that trading is not only technical, but it's also psychological, in the sense that you have to become a better human being to become a better trader. Okay, so that's my personal path that I went through. So I hope you appreciated, the overall topic that we discussed today. If you did, please follow me on YouTube, share the live. We are live every single day, Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. New York time, okay, for 3 to 5 hours every single day. So if you like the way I am conducting the live, total 100% transparency, you see everything, you see the trades, you see the profit and loss, you see the journey, you see everything. Okay, if you like something like that, and you like the boredom that comes with it, because an actual trading session is like that. If you like that, please share the live, because we need more people that understand what a real trading session is, and not the flashy things of the guru, marketer, not trader that are out there. Okay, so if you like, share, follow the YouTube channel, follow the videos, because I will be making more videos in the weekend. And if you like what we do, just give it a try to the Ment FX mentorship, because everything what I'm talking to you about, even the philosophical aspect of it, it's because of him. Okay, so no shit, it's because of him. So I think it's worth giving a look. Okay, thank you. We are going to see in the next live on Monday. Yeah, because there's the weekend. So have a nice weekend, relax yourself, do what you love, because it's important. To be a better trader, you also need to do what you love, because if you are just trading but you are not doing what you love, it's a bad thing. And I have done that for years, and so I experienced on my skin that to be a better trader in terms of performance, you actually need to be happy, to do something that you like, a sport, a walk, talking with your girlfriend, talking with your mother or father. It doesn't matter. Do what you like, produce dopamine and serotonin, because that helps in the trading session. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to see you on Monday, and for today is everything, guys. Appreciate a lot, love you, every one of you, and have a nice weekend. Okay, thank you, guys.